The action button can do some crazy things, like open my car's trunk when my hands are full. It can switch wallpapers and home screens with every press. It can be a quick and easy way to set reminders or write a quick note. It can even replace Siri with ChatGPT or Google Assistant. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. The iPhone 15 Pro's action button is far more useful than it appears at first. And I'm willing to bet that you are not using this nifty little button to its full potential. So in this video, we're going to show you how to change that and how to customize this button to something that will actually be useful. Here's what the action button was really made for. Okay, no, but seriously, I will have a written PDF guide for this tutorial available to channel members to reference later down the road, and I'm likely going to continue adding to it as more shortcuts get built. You can find details about that down in the description below, along with links to everything I will discuss in this video. Okay, so before we get into the crazy stuff, let's start with the basics. So the action button that is on the side of the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max is now a customizable, remappable button that you can set inside of your settings. So if you go into the settings application and then go down right here under Control Center, there's a new option for action button, and you get this really cool, fully immersive, full screen settings pane. And this is where you go to choose what you want the action button to do. So the first one is the most basic, that is silent mode. So if you want to switch between silent and ring for calls and alerts, you can press and hold on this. So just press and hold, and it will toggle between silent and ring. Now, if you just press on the action button one time, it will give you a prompt that you need to hold it to go to, perform whatever action you have set. So next up, we have focus modes. This allows you to choose which focus mode you want to enter. So if I want to enter into the recording a video focus mode, I can just simply tap and hold on that, and you can see it puts me right into that focus mode. Tap and hold again, it takes me out of it. Then we have camera. So this opens up the camera application, and you can even choose which part of the camera you want to open up in. So if you want it to open up to a portrait selfie, if you use that a lot, you can do that, or video or portrait, any of that. So I'll just select video, for example, and I'll tap and hold right here, and it will take me right in to the video and the camera. And if I start pressing it again, pressing and holding, it will start recording that video until I let go. And keep in mind, this action button works no matter where you're at in the OS, even if you're on the lock screen. So if I'm on the lock screen right here and I press and hold on that, you can see it will open up the camera. Now, of course, your phone will still be locked, so you will need to, unlock your phone for certain actions, but you can do it from anywhere, whether you're in an app, whether you're on the lock screen, the home screen, no matter where you are, this action button will work. Next up, we have the flashlight. So if you press and hold on that, you can see we get a little animation up there in the dynamic island. So when you turn the flashlight on or off, you could do that. You could see it up there, and you could also press and hold on this, and you could turn the flashlight off from the dynamic island animation. Next up is voice memos. So this allows you to press and hold to start recording a voice memo, and it will take place right there in the dynamic island. And no matter where you go can go out of the application and it will continue recording. You can press and hold again to stop recording, and it will automatically save it. And then we have magnifier, which will just simply open up the magnifier application from anywhere on your iPhone. And we're going to come back to shortcuts because that's what the main crux of this video is going to be around. So we're skipping that for now. Next up is accessibility. So you can now quickly use an accessibility feature, whichever one you choose, by pressing and holding on the action button. So if you go to choose feature, this allows you to choose between all of these different accessibility settings. And I can see this one being extremely useful for those who use accessibility features. So like, for example, if I wanted to go ahead and trigger live speech from that, I could just press and hold and it triggers live speech, and you can see it comes up right there. So this is especially useful since accessibility, all these settings are really buried deep inside of the settings application. So this could be a really good way to access those settings quickly. And then the final option is no action. And this does exactly what it says. It just performs no action. It does not mute your phone. It does not unmute your phone. It just simply exists. The button just exists and it does not do anything. So you can set that if you would like, but we're going to mainly focus this video on shortcuts because this is where you really get the full power, the full customizability out of the action button. So if we head into the shortcuts application, the very first thing I would recommend you do is go up here to the top right and press to add a new folder. And I would call that folder action button. This just helps you organize these shortcuts better, especially if you have a lot. You can see I have 293 shortcuts. I love building shortcuts, as you can tell, but I have a folder called action button. That way I can organize all of my shortcuts that are meant for the action button right here in this folder. It's also easier to select them when you go into the settings. Okay, so let's start with the basics, and then we're going to move on to some of the more advanced shortcuts that you can build. So let's just say you want to create a note very quickly with the action button. You can see here, I can press and hold, and it will allow me to write a note very easily. And when I type into there, it will automatically save it into my notes. And you can just download all of my shortcuts and download them so you don't have to build them yourself, but I'm going to show you how to build them because it's pretty simple. So all you want to do is type in note and then go to create note. And from here, you will create note with, and you can say ask each time. That way it asks you each time what you want to write in that note, and it's nothing that is predefined. And then you can choose if you want it to save in a certain folder or not. So maybe every time I do this, I just want it to save to my journal of notes. So there we go, I can save that. And then we do also have a drop down here that says open when run. So I don't think most people are going to want to open up the notes application when they finish this. So you might want to turn that off. And now we're done. So once you create that shortcut, you just want to go to the shortcut section here in settings and then go to the little drop down right here. And it allows you to choose your shortcut that you maybe just created. So you can search for it. So if I just search for note, for example, you can see that it shows my action button folder right there, and that is the shortcut that is built. So we're going to tap on that, and that will allow us to trigger the create a note action, as you can see right there. And you could do this with reminders as well. So if you want to quickly and easily add a reminder, you can just press and hold right there, and it allows you to set a reminder very quickly on the fly by simply pressing and holding on the action button. So now let's talk about how to replace Siri with ChatGPT, or how to do certain actions like scanning documents from the action button. So for example, for ChatGPT, you can see I can press and hold right here, and it's going to load up ChatGPT instead of Siri. And if I want to speak to it, I could just use the dictation down here to begin that. Give me 10 reasons why cats are better than dogs. And now it will show us our result right here. So it doesn't look the greatest, but it's going to depend on what you type in. But the good thing about this is that if you go into the preview, if you set a preview up like I have in the shortcut, it will also show you this right here, where you can see everything, the output, you can see everything that ChatGPT outputted, and you could also copy and paste from here very easily. To set this up, it's very simple. So all you want to do is create a new shortcut. You can name it whatever you want. And then if you have the ChatGPT application installed, it is a free official application from ChatGPT. You can set this up. Here's how I have mine set up. And then after you add the Ask ChatGPT action, which by the way, you can do that by simply searching right here and then just go to Ask ChatGPT. And then after that, we have a show. So all you need to do for this is just type in preview, and then you want to select quick look. And this allows you to show, and it's going to automatically detect that ChatGPT message in quick look. And that allows you to get that second menu that we saw there, where we can copy and paste everything. And you can do the same thing for Google Assistant if you want to. It's the same exact method. Now, another really cool use case for the action button is controlling your smart home devices. So if you want to lock or unlock your front door, you can do that with the action button. If you want to open or close your garage door, you can do that too. If you want to turn on or off your lights or open or close your shades, you can do all of that because shortcuts is so robust. And here's the shortcut I have set up to open and close my shades. So the very first thing I do is set my shades to open 50%. And then after that, I want to get the shade's current position. So it's going to get that 50%. And then I have an if then statement. So if the current position is greater than 1, so basically if my shades are open, then my shades are going to close. So I set that right here, and I can also change what I want that to do right there if I want to change that to something else. But basically it's saying that if the shades are opened, if they're greater than 1% opened, then I want to close the shades. So here's how that works. I'm going to go out of this. We're going to press and hold on the action button. And now my shades are opening up. They're open to 50%. So now if I want to close them, I just press and hold again. And since it's more than 1% opened, they will start closing. And like I said, you can customize this to your liking, and you can change this based on what smart home devices you have. And you can do this with a lot of different things. As you can see, you can create a new tab in Safari with the press and hold of the action button. You can get directions to home very easily. You can set your orientation lock. You can precondition your vehicle in terms of AC if you have a Tesla. You can do all of these things. So let's move on to the more advanced section here, where we're building several actions inside of one shortcut. So first off, let's show you how to change the wallpaper on the home screen and lock screen. So let me show you how this works. So if you press and hold on the action button, you can see it switches between my different wallpapers and my different home screens. Now, in order to do this, first you need to go to your actual lock screen or go into the notification center, press and hold, and you need to create multiple different wallpapers. So you can see all these different styles of wallpapers that I have. They are all linked to focus modes. So once you create a new one, so just go to create a new one right here, and then just make sure you have a different wallpaper for each different, lock screen and home screen combination. And then you want to set them to be a certain focus modes. Right here where you say focus modes, you want to link it to a specific focus mode, and don't do the same one for two different ones. You want to keep one focus mode per lock screen or home screen. So this one's do not disturb, this one's sleep, this one's fitness, this one's yeet, this one's groceries, and so on and so forth. So once you have that set up, now we can go ahead into the shortcuts application. So you can try to recreate this on your own, but I would recommend most people just download this shortcut from the description below and just build on top of it. So all you need to change in this to make it your own is just change like where I have my custom focus modes. Like recording a video, you probably don't have that one. So you can go in here and select whichever one matches you. Now the most important thing to note in here, the most important thing you need to change is where it says if name contains, and you need to change that text to contain whatever the previous focus mode had. So I know this is kind of confusing. And again, I will have a written PDF guide to reference, for channel members if you want to see that. But yeah, if all you need to do is basically put in the name of the previous focus mode. So the previous one right here was turning on a video. So to make this quick, I just said if the previous name contained video, and this is case sensitive, by the way, so you do need to put in a capital V there if the focus mode has a capital V. If it contains that, then it's going to turn on the next focus mode that I want to switch through. And I know this is kind of confusing, but you get the point. So yeah, the next one, if the name contains the previous one, then it's going to turn on the next focus mode, and so on and so forth. And then finally, let's talk about the most advanced version of the shortcuts and using the action button. So first off, we have an action button menu. So this was found by Stephen Robles. He kind of made this one, and I kind of piggybacked off of this, and I built on top of it. So what this does is it allows you to choose from a menu when you press and hold on the action button. So we're going to set this to the action button menu. And now when we press and hold on that, you can see that if we're not in a focus mode, and I'll show you why that matters in a moment, but now you can see that we get a option here. We get multiple different options when we press on that button, and you can change these to whatever you want. So if I want to turn on or off a focus mode, if I want to turn on or off mute, if I want to open the camera or open shortcuts, I can do all of that straight from the action button and that menu that we've created. And right here, you can see you can add in certain things from that menu, and you can select what those menu items do right beneath it. Okay, so that's cool, but let's take it a step further. What if we have the action button set to perform different actions based on what focus mode we're in? We can do that. So here's how I have it set up, and you can customize this, like I said, to your liking by just simply downloading this and tweaking this. But all you basically do is get the current focus mode, and if that focus mode contains or matches a certain focus mode that you have set up, you just add the action that you want to do underneath of it. So for example, I'm in the recording a video focus mode right now. So if my focus mode contains video, that means that the action it's going to do is add text to my YouTube section right here in reminders. So if I go ahead and press and hold on that, you can see that since I'm in focus mode, since I'm in the recording a video focus mode, it's going to launch that action. Now, if the focus mode contains sleep, it's going to open up my clock so I can maybe change my bedtime or something like that. So we're going to go into sleep, and now we're going to press and hold on that. And what do you know? It takes us right to our alarms page. Now, here's a crazy one. If the focus mode contains groceries, so if I'm going grocery shopping and I change my focus mode to groceries right here, and I press and hold, and I'm not going to do this because I'm not near my car right now, but it's going to open the trunk of my car. So if my hands are full, all I need to do is press and hold on the action button, and it's going to open the trunk of my Tesla. That's insane. And if my focus mode is set to gaming, it's going to open up Subway Surfer. So let's try that out. So if we go to gaming right here and then go out of this, you can see it's going to open up Subway Surfers just like we intended. And then down here at the bottom, if our current focus mode does not have any value, so if we are not in a focus mode, it will run that action button menu that I showed you just before this. So we're going to go out of focus modes altogether and press and hold on the action button. And you can see it launches that shortcut. So these are separate shortcuts, but you can see that this runs that action button menu shortcut. So you can kind of have multiple shortcuts in one by simply running another shortcut inside of a shortcut. Now, what if we want to access all of those actions that we just mentioned without having to be in a certain focus mode? Well, let me introduce you to the show folder option, and you can see here, we essentially have what I like to call a second control center. So I'm able to customize and run any of these actions by simply pressing on the action button, and everything happens very quickly as well. So you can see there, I can get directions home, I can ask ChatGPT, and everything happens pretty quick. So this is super convenient, and you can access this by going into the shortcuts right here and then going to the My Shortcuts section and then to Show Folder. And from here, you choose the folder that you want to show up. If I select the Tesla folder, for example, and I press on this, you can see that every action up there is now related to my Tesla. So all you do to set this up is just create a new folder. You can use the folder that we created at the beginning of this video, but you might want to have a different type of folder for this action menu. And all you do is just add the different shortcuts into that menu. Now you can move them. So if you had everything in a folder previously, all you need to do is tap on Edit right here and then select the ones that you want to move, and then go down here to the Move option once you have them selected, and then just select your folder that you just created, or you can create a new folder out of that selection. So here is my action menu, and if I press that, you can see that not everything shows up, so it will only show 7 items here, so you do not get the full 8, because the Open app, which is Open Shortcuts, is always going to be the last option. You also cannot move these around. They're just going to be in the order that you have them in here in the Shortcuts application. And you can change the icon if you want to as well. So if you go into one of these and go to the drop down right here and then go to choose icon, here's where you can choose a different icon. So if I want that to be a purple bus for whatever reason, now when I set silent mode, it will be a purple bus right here in that action menu. So the possibilities for this are quite literally endless. You can do so much. And there is one last thing I want to show you that really takes this up even another level, as if there was another level to this. But this basically allows you to do things based on what orientation your device is in. So if I go to orientation based right here, this is crazy. So first off, in order for this to work, you do need to download the Actions application. So if you just search for Actions inside of the App Store, this will also be linked down in the description below. But this application is right here. It is free, and it adds some crazy actions into the Shortcuts application. So you can go to Apps right here, and you can see every single action that the Actions application includes. And these are definitely for power users. So, use them wisely. But this allows you to change what your focus mode does, or what your action button does, based on the device orientation. So I have this set to get the device orientation first, so it knows what orientation we're in. And if the device orientation is in landscape to the left, it's going to open up photo in the camera application. Otherwise, if it is set to landscape to the right, it's going to open up video. So let's test those two out first. So we're going to go back into the action button section in our settings, and we're going to go and find orientation base. That is the name of that shortcut. And now we're going to go ahead and put our device this way, and we're going to press and hold on that action button, and it's going to get our device orientation. And as you can see, it opens up the photo application. Now, what if I go out of this and flip it the other way and put it this side? It's going to open up video in that orientation. And then I have it set to, if the device orientation is face down, it's going to lock the screen. So if my device is left unlocked, for example, and I put it face down, and then I press and hold on the action button right here, watch this. There we go. It locks it just like so. And then if the device orientation is portrait, it's going to open up the selfie, because when my device is in portrait mode, I'm probably going to take a selfie. So if we go ahead to that, it opens up the selfie view in the camera application. And then also you can even set it to have portrait upside down, which means like if your phone is in your pocket, you're going to put it in like that, which means you're going to be in portrait mode upside down. You can have that set to do a certain action as well. I couldn't really think of a good use for that, but that is another option you can have in there. So yeah, this is insane. And there are so many more things that you can do with this. I'm sure people are going to find even crazier things than I found so far, but these are just some pretty advanced examples of what you can do with the action button and really just unleash its full power. And I would also encourage you, when you go to add an action, to just go to the apps section right here and look for the third-party applications you have installed, and just take a look at what actions they have. Like if you use an application all the time, you can check out, what they have in there. Like if you're addicted to Instagram, you could have that set to post to Instagram very quickly, or call or FaceTime somebody in the Instagram app. Or for me, for example, with the Tesla, there are tons of actions you can do from the Tesla, and these will all activate automatically. They don't even need to open up the Tesla application in order for these actions to perform. I think some of the most useful ones are locking and unlocking your car, being able to open and close your trunk. You can fart from the Tesla from the action button. You can precondition the AC in the vehicle. You can set the temperature. You can do all of that from the action button. So again, I encourage you to look at the third-party integrations inside of Shortcuts and really just kind of build out your own shortcuts, even if they're very simple, and just add those to the action button, because I think that there is so much potential here. So that is the ultimate customization guide for the iPhone 15 Pro's action button. This is an insane feature. I mean, it's one of my favorite iPhone features in a very long time, all thanks to shortcuts. So please, in a comment down below, let me know what you have your action button set to. I may even make a version 2.0 of this video. I may make a follow-up video using some of your suggestions down there in the comments. And again, if you want to access that PDF guide, it is available to channel members, and all links to all of the shortcuts are in the description below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be much appreciated, and also consider subscribing if you want to see more iPhone 15 and 15 Pro coverage. But anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.